Let's talk about fractions. So let's take something like 1/2 and 3/8. We're trying to add those together. Boy, that's a weird looking 8. All right, there we go, 8. So we're adding two fractions together. So you want to find the least common denominator. So when you add fractions, one thing you need to remember is you can't add straight across. That will not give you the correct answer. So the temptation is to try to add 1 and 3 and add 2 and 8. And what I'm saying is that's not how you add fractions. So you have to find a common denominator. They have to have the same number on the bottom. Now this is an 8. I know it's a crazy looking 8, but that's an 8. And this is a 2. So we want to make these the same. So I think the easiest way to do that is to multiply this side over here by 4/4. Now, 4 times 2 will be 8, which is what we have here. And because I'm doing the multiplication on the top and on the bottom, that's essentially multiplying by 1. And one of the rules of multiplication you learn early on is that when you multiply a number by 1, you don't change that number. So, 5 times 1 is 5. 6 times 1 is 6, so forth and so on. So I'm really multiplying 1/2 by 1 because 4 divided by 4 is 1. But the benefit of this 1 that I'm multiplying by in this particular situation is that I'm going to create a fraction that is equivalent to 1/2. So 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. And now, because these have the same denominator, I can add these together. So I'm going to have 8 on the bottom, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So you can add straight across as long as you have the same number in the denominator on the bottom, that is. So 7/8. So that's one way to do that. That's 1/2 plus 3/8. So that's what I would recommend to you. Be able to do that. However, if you reach high school, and you're in an Algebra 1 class or you're in a geometry class and you aren't good at this and you can't remember how to do that, I would say most teachers will allow you to use a calculator. And if you're not good at this, you shouldn't be, it's a little too late, I think, in a lot of ways. Like if you didn't learn this in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade, you get over to the high school, let's face it, you're probably not going to learn how to do that. You've got a bunch of other things you're trying to learn. The teachers aren't really trying to teach you how to add fractions anymore, and that ship has sailed. You are involved with geometry, you're doing proofs, you're doing slope intercept form with line. You've got all this new information. And let's face it, if you didn't learn how to add fractions in 3 years, you're probably not going to pick it up now. So what I would say is go ahead and embrace technology. So how do you do 1/2 and 3/8? Well, let me show you on this calculator. This is a cheap Texas Instruments 30X2S or whatever that is. I don't know, but these are out there at Walmart and Target, and they're pretty inexpensive. You can even get one in pink if you want to. Mine is a manly blue here. So let's do this on this. So here's how you do this. So there is a button on here that is a fraction button. So what you do is you type in 1, because I'm going to do 1/2 plus 3/8, right? So you type in 1, so there's my 1, and then you hit this little fraction button, and it makes a mark like that. Now that doesn't look like it doesn't look like this, but that's what this calculator is computing with or representing. So that represents 1/2. So I hit 1, and then I hit that fraction button, and then I hit 2, and that's what it looks like on here, 1/2. That represents 1/2. Now I'm going to do plus 3/8. So I hit 3, I hit that little fraction button, and then I hit 8. So that's what it looks like on here, 1/2 plus 3/8. So when you hit enter, what this does is it gives you the fraction, so that's 7/8, which is the right answer because of what I did over here. So that is the right answer. Now the only downfall to this is that, and I don't really even consider it a downfall, but let's say you had, I don't know, let's say 1/4 plus, let's say 8 fourths. I don't know. It probably wouldn't have that. You would go ahead and convert that to 2. But just for the sake of this argument, let's do this. 1/4 plus 8 fourths. Well, that's going to be 9 fourths, right? Just adding straight across because they're common denominators. Now, if they're common denominators, hopefully you just go ahead and do it. You'd be done quickly. But let me show you what would happen on here just for the sake of argument. So I'm going to do 1/4. So 1 fraction bar 4. So 1/4 plus 8 fraction bar 4. I wanted to show you that it's going to give you a mixed number. So it looks like this. That means 2 1/4 as a mixed number. So 2 1/4. 2 1/4. So the downfall, if there is one, to this calculator is that if you add two fractions together and it's smaller than 1, it's going to give you that number as a mixed number. So that means 2 1/4. That's what this is. 2 1/4. Look at how it looks on there. That means 2 1/4. So what you would have to do to get it to be 9 fourths is you'd have to take this number and multiply it times this number and add that number. So 2 times 4 is 8. 1 more is 9. So this is 9 fourths. This is 9 fourths. Most of the time, your teachers want your answer in fractional form and not mixed number form. So you will have to convert this over. So think about that. So to go from this form to that form, once again, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So this is 9/4, and I would write it this way. Some teachers might take the mixed number. I don't hate mixed numbers, but it just depends on your teacher. I guess you have to kind of figure out what's going on. That'd be a good question to ask in class. Hey, is it okay if I write my answer as a mixed number, or do you want it as a fraction? If they want it as a mixed number, if they'll take that, then great. You don't even have to worry about that. But if most teachers want fractions, and so you would convert it that way. Now you can even type in a mixed number. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, let's say I wanted to do 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 looks like that. So I hit 3, I hit this little ABC button, and then I hit 3 and I hit it again. So 3 3/4. I'm hitting 3, that button, 3, that button, 4. 3 3/4. So you could add 3 3/4 plus 2 1/8. That's what that would look like. And you could hit enter and it will do it as 5 7/8. That's what that equals to. So you can add two mixed numbers together. Or you could add a fraction and a mixed number. So by hitting these buttons. Anyway, so learn how to use this calculator, learn how to add fractions on it like that and convert all. It'll save you a lot of headache, especially if you're in high school. Now, if you're still in middle school, I would say learn this. Learn how to add fractions. It will save you a headache if you're good at that. And some teachers won't let you use a calculator at all. They're just going to expect you to do it anyway. But what I'm saying is that a lot of you are in Algebra 1 classes or geometry classes, and your teacher lets you use a calculator, and you aren't good at adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions. Well, quit beating yourself up and learn how to use the calculator and move on. So technology is here. Embrace it, use it, and don't feel bad about it. Go for it. See ya.